basis. The news is grim for the Federal Reserve, which is implicitly tasked with containing inflation, and for the Biden presidency. President Biden acknowledged the worrying news yesterday, saying that, quote, reversing this trend is a top priority for me. In a surprise, China and the United States have agreed to boost climate cooperation over the next decade. The world's two biggest CO2 emitters pledged to act in a joint declaration at the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow. China's top climate negotiator Xi Jinping told reporters that on climate change, there is more agreement between China and U.S. than divergence. Both sides said they would work together to achieve a 1.5 Celsius temperature goal set out in the Paris Agreement. Scientists say that limiting global temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius will help humanity avoid the worst climate impacts. A federal judge has ruled that Governor Greg Abbott's ban on mask mandates in Texas schools violates the rights of students with disabilities. It is a decision that could affect more than 5 million students in the state. The ruling comes after months of bitter and politicized disputes over COVID, pitting many parents against the governor and other state officials. The ruling also explicitly prohibited the Attorney General of Texas, Ken Paxton, from enforcing the order by Abbott. He has repeatedly opposed COVID-related mandates. And Chesa Badan, the district attorney of San Francisco, is now facing a recall election after a backlash to his policies aimed at reducing the number of people in jails and prisons. Badan, who is the son of incarcerated parents who were jailed due to their connections with the 1960s radicals, the Weather Underground, was one of the most high-profile liberal prosecutors elected on promises of reducing incarceration and tackling racial bias. But, as have prosecutors in Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Chicago, Badan is now facing sharp pushback as some have argued policies have made San Francisco less safe. 65% of American voters support the bipartisan infrastructure deal. 62% of Americans support the social safety net and climate bill. Only 38% of voters approve of the job Biden is doing as president, which is a new low. 58% of Americans say Biden isn't paying attention to the nation's most important problems. 64% say they don't want Biden to run for a second term. People are dying from COVID-19 at a rate 3 times higher in counties where Trump won at least 60% of the vote than in counties where Biden won by a similar margin. These are the Biden Files.
Lumpen Radio was pleased to present a special recording of the Spectral Quartet live in concert, which rapidly became one of Lumpen's most listened to broadcasts ever. Produced in partnership with the Chicago Humanities Festival, this is an excerpt from Plain Air. Chicago-based Guy King has a new single out this week from his new LP, Joy is Coming. Featuring Joe Bonamassa, this is Devil's Toy.
Cold-blooded city for a country boy makes me feel like I'm the devil's toy. Oh, that devil's waiting on me. Lost and lonely, looking for a break. I'm scared to death of making one mistake. Caught in this trap, and I don't see no way out. Temptations all around me, promising thrills of joy, but it feels like hell when you ain't nothing but the devil's toy. Devil's toy. Bad girls, they calling out to me. I can hear them shouting, boy, we'll set you free. My soul is burning, I'm about to lose my mind. Peddlers hustling potions, guaranteed to bend my mind. Man, you feel so good, leave all your worries behind. I see you looking, were you looking for an exit sign? Temptations all around me, promising thrills of joy. Who and what will save me from being? I ain't nothing but the devil's toy. Devil's toy. I said I'm the devil's toy. He blinds me with doubt, and I don't see no getting out. Hey, yeah.
Download complete. Now playing, EurekaCast Now. Inspire curiosity. Imagine science.
And the fact of the matter is, you see a lot of people on new media talking about things adjacent to the Sigma grind set, how to become successful, tips for becoming successful. But the thing that none of them seem to have is they just don't have the scientific basis. It's always their opinions.
Right. It does seem as though there is a lack of really good data out there.
Data consistency.
Right. And that has not stopped us from being able to come to some of our own conclusions.
As you know, as the citizen scientist out there knows, what Rowan and I are famous for is taking these great questions that viewers have sent to us and discovering the science behind them, doing the real investigative work.
Or in this case, a question that we imagined a listener might send to us.
Yeah, either way.
So where do we start with this, Kai? Where do we start with the science of success?
Well, we start with looking at the successful people in the world. And we're doing this from an empirical matter. We looked at the habits of highly and wildly successful people, and we broke down what truly made them successful, what traits they commonly share, and we deduced from those what the actual habits were of people that are to become successful.
And we're talking about people like Carl Sagan
or Steve Jobs,
Don Featherstone,
inventor of the pink plastic flamingo.
All of these people who have had wildly successful lives and have habits that we believe, and once again, we've aggregated all of these successful people and their habits and what we've been able to learn to them, and we've seen what statistically is most prevalent is the things that seem to be the confounding factors, if you will.
Yeah. So we've broken these down into several different sections.
Four. We've broken them down into four sections.
Four most important sections. Yes.
Right. So what do we got what do we have right out the bat?
So the first one is of course emotions.
Right.
So emotions are obviously important to our lives. They're important to the grind set. Emotions make up the grind set. You can actually think of the grind set as a series of emotions.
A grind in and of itself is, you could say, an emotion, more of a compound emotion, but an emotion nonetheless.
Yes. It is this compound emotion. And the thing is, emotions, some people like to think of them as our friends or dear fellows. If you've seen the Inside Me cartoon.
Yes.
They're people living inside of us, and that is true to some extent. But the truth in that is that emotions are not our friends. They are our employees. And we can work them like our employees. A survey of CEOs shows that CEOs are, in fact, in the top 10%, the angriest people alive.
So specifically what you looked at is anger.
Anger, the chief of all emotions, the most powerful, the best of all emotions.
The CEO of emotions.
The CEO of emotions, yes. If you think of your body and your mental health as sort of a company, anger would be that CEO in that CEO position. And the thing is, the reason that CEOs are in the place that they are is because, as we see time and time again in the data, they give themselves the permission to feel angry, the permission to be angry anytime they please, and they do it strategically.
So how would one go about doing this strategically?
Well, in order to do it strategically is, choose a time out of your day. Choose a position, a situation where you want to be angry. You feel like it's your anger could be best used. Find your angry place and just let it go.
EurekaCast NOW, broadcasting Saturdays, 8 to 9 p.m. on Lumpen Radio.
The Lumpen Week in Review is produced by the staff and volunteers of WLPN LP Chicago, the community radio of the future. The Week in Review is overseen by Jamie Trecker, voiceovers by Shanna Van Volt, additional production by Cole Eisenberg, Julie Wu, Sergio Rodriguez, Neil Gaynor, Lane Gerbig, Alexander Jerry, John Piotrowski, Ari Shellist, and Annie Klein. Live music production by Ari Shellist. The Lumpen theme, background, and interstitial music is by Mike Perkins. The Lumpen Radio Sting is by Dan Jugel. For more information on Lumpen Radio, visit lumpenradio.com. Lumpen Radio is brought to you in part by Mars Community Brewing, makers of Chug Life. Chug Life is a carved-up American-style lager made in tribute to crisp, clean American beers. Chug Life is available in cans and on tap across Chicagoland in package stores and finer taverns. More information is at marsbrewing.com. That's MARZbrewing.com. What's Mars is yours.
Out of Vogue Radio, featuring punk, hardcore, oi, and power pop. Every first and third Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. on 105.5 Chicago Lumpen Community Radio.
You're listening to WLPN LP Chicago 105.5 FM Lumpen Radio.
You're listening to WLPN LP Chicago 105.5 FM, streaming live at lumpenradio.com.
On tonight's episode of EurekaCast Now, the 5 phases of music listening, what you should be listening to for each part of the day. Chicago plans on releasing pollutant accumulating cats, and our special feature, Blood Letter, the future of medical crowdfunding.
The following program is an artistic work of fiction and falsehood. The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the broadcasters or the management thereof. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, I'm glad you're here. I'm lead media disruption developer Kai Hubris, and this is the show that we call EurekaCast Now, and on this show we discuss the latest news in science. But also technology.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. I'm less than I'd like. We could certainly do it some more. With me, as always, that voice that you just heard is the esteemed Professor Emeritus, Rowan Meadowlark from the Simon Amy Institute of Spirit Science. How are you doing tonight, Rowan?
Wonderful, Kai, and healthful welcomes to tonight's allegorical wellness spa of the mind, because that's how I conceptualize of the show. I don't know how you, on a metaphysical plane, look at what we put together, but I look at it in that manner.
I think of it as sort of a sonic power lunch where we can really get through a lot. We can, lunch is a great time. There's food around, but it's also a great time to get some work done and really learn some new things and make those connections, and that's sort of what this show is.
That's fair. That's certainly a way to look at it. And, the idea of the power lunch, it's interesting that you should bring that up because that is an excellent point that you're making with regards to how there are ways in which productivity can be brought to the forefront through design and through changing definitions.
Strategic thinking.
Exactly. And specifically architecture, because I thought this would be some interesting news. The ground has been broken for the 6-story subterranean dorms at the Simon Amy Institute of Spirit Science next to the Yards campus. That's right.
And that's the one that you work at.
Exactly. That it's really, really exciting because this is a really innovative building, a really unique concept for some dorms. 1,000 students underground, windowless rooms.
Underground, you say?
Yeah, it is 6 stories down. Well, 5 stories down, and then a ground level.
This is the future of, as they say, vertical architecture, but very, very few people actually mean vertical, going straight into the earth when they talk about vertical architecture. But that is the future.
Well, yeah, and the fascinating thing about this is because this is the work of Simon Amy himself. He has designed this from top to bottom.
Really?
It is completely his concept, and it is an experiment, nothing less than an experiment in hostile architecture for the betterment and sort of productivity and mindfulness in students that come to the Simon Amy Institute of Spirit Science next to the Arts campus.
Now, I've heard so much about Simon Amy, but I did not even consider. I did not know that they had a background in architecture.
Well, the beautiful thing is they have a background in physics,
so important,
shapes, structures.
The human body is, one could say, a building.
The fascinating part of the whole thing is that this is the work of a man who is coming into this with little preconceived notions on these things.
Yes, changing it up.
Let me describe to you some of the features.
Draining the swamp.
Some of the features that have been dictated by Simon Amy in this grand experiment of his. Because that's the thing, he's not an architect. I don't think it would be fair to say that he has a background in architecture, but he does have a background in experimentation. He does have a background in pushing the limits and seeing how the human mind responds to stimuli. And this is a concatenation of many stimuli. Let me describe some of these stimuli. It's fascinating. So one thing is that the beds are actually at a 160-degree turn. All of the beds.
In which dimension? In which direction?
So they're sloped downwards about 20 degrees.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there is a sort of a board at the bottom where the feet can rest, but it allows people to sleep in a semi-standing position, and those are the only beds that are part of this.
Well, that's great. If you're talking about students, they never want to get up, but from the time they lay down in bed, they're already basically up.
Exactly, 100%. Another feature, a key feature, and this is once again coming from Simon Amy himself, water will be lukewarm in the toilet, in the sink, and in the shower.
Right.
All of the water will be the same temperature.
Well, some say that lukewarm, that sort of room temperature, is the ideal form of water.
Well, that's the fun part of it, though, is and this shows the genius of the design is that because all of the water is the same temperature, that temperature can be changed, and that can be a variable as they investigate these dorms and the possibilities that they're going to provide from these students.
So you're saying it's going to be a research test what temperature the water's going to be and how that affects grades or something?
Well, no one said that yet, but it's a possibility.
Sure.
It opens the door.
They have one knob down there in the basement that changes the whole building's water.
Bathrooms have no walls. That's another feature that's been designed.
What do you mean by that? They're outside. What do you?
No, they're not outside. Come on, it's underground.
Sure.
Please,
They're
it's underground.
The caves.
Well, yeah, no, there's just no walls.
Like between stalls, or what do you mean no
walls? Yeah, between stalls.
There's no door.
It's just sort of imagine a large room that's sort of dotted with toilets and urinals, and there would be one per floor.
Mm-hmm. Well,
innovative. It's innovative design. It's really quite exciting, and this is the really exciting one that I thought was incredible.
Okay, let's hear it.
That they have installed specific types of speakers into the various underneath beds, into walls, along ceilings.
Okay.
That can emit all sorts of tones, all sorts of noises, very softly, very loudly.
High fidelity?
Extremely,
Perhaps,
and
yeah.
subsonic, as a matter of fact, as well.
Do the students at all have control over what is being played?
Well, no, of course not.
What's the plan with these, Rowan?
Well, right now the ground has just been broken. There's really no real construction has happened just yet. But it's exciting. It's the largest experiment in hostile architecture ever done on in a university setting, and I'm very excited to see how it goes.
Now, is hostile architecture is this something that is a novel construction, a new form of architecture developed by Simon Amy, or is there a precedent for this?
Oh, there's absolutely precedent for this. This is a refinement of things such as homeless spikes, boulders placed in sort of entryways.
Right.
Ronald McDonald as he sits on the bench.
Right.
That is considered hostile architecture.
So
this is a refinement, though, and a brought
scale,
together.
certainly.
Yeah, and the idea, I should say, the idea is by making the dorms so completely and utterly unwelcoming and miserable, it will bring people out of the dorms to their classes and to each other.
That is a huge problem. Is these classes, they're just completely empty at this point. I see a lot of universities, and that's because these students are in their dorms having the time of their lives.
You can't. I couldn't say it better myself. And at least that's certainly
soundly. No lack of amenities.
There's so much time wasted in the dorms, and I'm guilty of it. I wasted so much time in the dorms, but
You're sleeping 8-9 hours a night.
I as much as I don't want to deny the goofing around that I experienced to this incoming class of people. At the same time, we have bigger problems now, and I really need we need the young people to pick up the slack.
Yeah, I see college kids all around, bright eyes, and they're going out there. They're having hot meals, and really, college is a time for education, not hot meals and sleepful nights.
I could not agree more.
Well, thank you very much for that, Rowan.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
You're not involved in the planning of this?
No. But I will be one of the first to get a tour of it when it is finally constructed. I'm fairly certain. Pending some talks with some people, I could possibly do that.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for that, Rowan. It is now time to move on to our first story of the night. And as you know, we do news and technology reports here, and this is a fun one. This is one that is straight out of New Media Laboratories here at Tech Brothers. This story is fresh out of the oven. I have it right in front of me. I have the data pulled up, and this is exciting. Nobody's heard about this yet. This is the first time you're going to be hearing about it. Are you ready, Rowan?
I'm ready for something.
Well, all right, so this is really exciting. New Media Labs has identified that there are 5, count them 5, universal modes of music listening throughout the course of a day. So there are 5 modes, 5 phases of music listening. And we've learned this based off of trends we've collected from thousands of users of Tech Brothers music streaming service Guy Fidelity.
Okay, we're gonna need to take it a step back from here.
I'm just so excited.
What do you mean when you say modes of music listening?
Okay, so let's take an even further step back. As you know, Rowan, as the listener, as the citizen scientist out there knows, citizen scientist, as you will know, I work at this company, Tech Brothers, in the New Media Laboratories. We do a lot of research and development in areas of new media and streaming services. Some may consider it new media.
I would certainly consider it new media.
And one of the ways it's new media, hold on, Rowan. Let me explain. One of the ways it's new media is that it's the first time we're able to take such a complex research, compile such large amounts of data on such very specific things from users. So users will use They'll log on to their Guy Fidelity accounts. They will listen to music, and then we track all that data. Really all we've done with them so far is we'd send them, at the end of the year, we'd tell them what genres they're listening to, what genres they are not listening to, what genres they could be and should be listening to, things like that. A lot of music streaming services are doing that. But for the first time, we've been able to to look at every single person, basically every single person, or a sample of every single person that uses Guy Fidelity, and we're able to look at what they're listening to, the genres, the tempos, the sort of types of music they're listening to throughout the course of the day. And we've learned that if you split up a day into 5 different, time slots, those time slots, what people are listening to when, they correlate. People sort of tend to listen to exactly or roughly the same kinds of music during the same times of days. So we've split them up into 5 different time frames. And right now I will reveal to you listener exactly what you listen to, what you're listening to right now. These things govern your life, what you listen to during what times of the day.
So this is a revelation of back-end sort of algorithmically generated concepts. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's a revelation, and also in the sense that people are so predictable.
A peek behind the curtain.
Peek behind the curtain of you.
Well, all right, Kai, let's hear it.
All right, so we've tracked this, and we can conclusively say everybody pretty much follows the exact same schedule when it comes to listening to music. So it may sound like I'm some sort of I have some insights or some magic. This is not magic. This is not cold reading. This is fact and data. So between 4 a.m. and...
Not that there would be anything wrong if it was true scientific magical. Magic with a K.
I wouldn't... Okay, 4 a.m. to 9:05 a.m. So this is what we call... And we've given each of these segments a name. 4 a.m. to 9:05 a.m., that's what we call the Royal Wood. And I'll tell you why. During this time, the data shows us that people... listen to music, and this is again a generalized way of looking at it. But people tend to listen to music with hints of '60s folk and lustrous '70s rock. According to our algorithms, the music during this time also tends to be tinged with Americana or imbued with a psychedelic shimmer.
This is remarkably specific.
It's more general than specific. But let me finish. It also should be noted that music during this time. Mostly steers clear of the red zone. Sort of the song crafting is less rocking and more measured, with the occasional glint of pop sheen flickering at its surface.
How are you putting this together in this manner? Because this is remarkably specific. What did you imbued? You said it was imbued.
Our algorithms are very complex. The amount of data that we take on each of these songs is very, very complex. Again, you can track tempos, you can track instrumentation, you can track the lyrics. We can track everything, and this is what the computer spits out, Rowan.
All right, fair. Less intuitive results have proved more fruitful. So what else? What else is there?
Let me just say, so the genres that sort of the genres that sort of take over that morning segment are folktronica and black gaze. Next up, we have the 9:05 to 12 p.m., so 9:05 to noon. This is the period of time that we call dark root garden, and I'll tell you why we call it the dark root garden. And that's because music that people listen to during this time of day, it uses indie pop to convey candid and often devastating observations about longing, insecurities, and the uncertainty of young adulthood. What's interesting... Wait, let me just tell you what's interesting. What's really interesting about the music people listen to at this time is that the music, it doesn't so much shirk nostalgia as recontextualizes it. It transfigures well-worn memories from longings into lessons, a soil from which to potentially grow.
Well, I mean...
And the genres that epitomize this time are vegan straight edge and hypnagogic pop.
Gardens do grow. That is a fair... That I can see the... I can see the correlation there.
Right, and that's just a simple cause and effect.
But I don't know if 9 a.m. to noon is where I would be wanting to listen to Vegan Straight Edge. That seems rather early for that sort of music.
You'd be surprised.
I love Vegan Straight Edge. It's one of my it's right up there with Paleo Straight Edge as far as musical subgenres I enjoy, but it's just not that early.
I'm just telling you, Rowan, you'd be surprised. The next one we have is from noon to the crucial 4:37. And this is a time period that we call the Crystal Caves. The music during this time, it really this is the time when it starts embracing community and sustainability while rejecting the myth that great art must be born from torture, tragedy, and visionary collaborations with Jim O'Rourke. Now, there's plenty going on in music during this period of time, but it never feels like the instruments are fighting for space. Tambourines shake in and out of the mix, along with piano tones, acoustic strums, and glittering electric leads. The genres that epitomize this time are gauze pop and twee.
These are... I don't even know how to react to this.
I mean, it's really stunning what data can show us.
Now, let me ask you this, Kai. Is this not just your data? Or is this not just something that was created for your playlist?
No, there's a lot of people working on this team. It's not just me.
I have never in my life heard of gauze pop or twee or Jim O'Rourke for that matter.
Well,
I don't think I have listened to music that fits in with those criteria at any point.
Well, Rowan, I think you do. The data's telling us this.
Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving.
So the next one is a period of time that we call the Valley of Drakes. This is from 4:38 to 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. at night. So music during this time, rather than lean into the gimmick of a bedroom record, songs during this time disguise their relatively amateur equipment behind clean melodies and reliable song structures. The bubblegum bass anthems listened to during this time of day take the form of a marketing campaign of mostly fictional soft drinks, fetishizing the sound of soullessness while crystallizing key PC music elements such as hyperphysical synth, chipmunk vocals, and advertising as a genre. The genres during this period of time are deathgrass and lowercase.
No, I do actually recognize some of this. I don't want to be listening to PC music if 4 to 9.
But you do though.
Is this a story? Is this actually a story?
Yeah, no, this is data. This is brand new data. This is a news show. This is brand new.
Because it seems like you're reading lists from your own playlist.
I mean, you caught me, Rowan, but that's only because everybody else. It's surprising how everybody else seems to follow the same exact 5 phases. You ready for the last one?
Certainly.
And this is the most interesting one. Rowan, what would you say you listen to between the hours of 9 p.m. and 2:05 a.m.?
I happen to love the Starlight Express soundtrack. Andrew Lloyd Webber, one of my favorites.
Oh, well, you know what, Rowan? I think this period of time.
I like show tunes.
I think this period of time, Demon Ruins, perfectly epitomizes this. It's certainly this is certainly the most patrician hours of listening. The data tells us music during this time tends to feature chugging, groovy riffs that stomp down a path of destruction while squealing guitar harmonics stab around the edges. This period of time, definitely a museum of hardcore. The music only relents in its barrage of knuckle-dragging riffs and pummeling drums to deploy the occasional gross-out sample.
This does not sound like Dear Evan Hansen.
Well, the genres that epitomize this time are glitch hop and porno grind.
Well, there we go.
Well, I mean, Rowan, that's not it. There's one more. I know I said 5, but there is the crucial. If you're listening to the times, there is a crucial break between 2:05 and 4 a.m. That's what we call the music dark side. We have no idea what goes on during those times. But that's it.
Well, that was a remarkably specific trip down, I'm going to guess, my co-host's Spotify, Guy Fidelity.
Guy Fidelity. What?
Yes.
I don't even know what Spotify is.
Your own playlist. Thank you for that.
No, it's completely data. Listener, really look over. I didn't mean to scare any listeners out there that thought that I was peeping into their own personal playlists. Rowan, I know you might be scared. I feel like this is coming from a place of fear. You feel like I know too much about you, but really this is just what the data tells us.
I did not hear a single song from an Andrew Lloyd Webber, performance on there. And that leads me to believe that you don't know what I listen to at all.
Don't be afraid.
Memories. That would have been a gimme. So I have a very quick story because we are running a little low on time in the first portion of the program. And this is a bit of a local story, I should say. Yes. Because
sort of like my story.
In Chicago, as you may or may not know, Kai, the listener, citizen scientist, Chicago has once again been deemed the rat capital of the United States, 7th year running.
Wonderful.
It's incredible. We have the most rats per square foot. I don't have the specific stat in front of me, but above all other cities.
If you're imagining the stat, imagine a large one.
So, Chicago, once again, we has this rat problem.
We sure do, Ro.
I don't consider it a problem necessarily. Right. I think that rats add a little bit of flavor to the city experience, city living,
but a rotting flavor.
And they're not really bothering me in any meaningful capacity. But there's been this program, a long-standing program, to release cats that have been spayed and neutered. They have put back out onto the streets, microchipped. Back out on the streets to eat the rats as an organic pest control measure.
And I hear they're really good at that.
And I would not speak. I can't speak to whether or not they're good. It's a good program or not. I know I have adopted many cats from this program off the streets, which is probably diminishing their ability to kill the rats.
You're just taking the cats off the street, or are you going through?
Well, there's no one else. No one owns them.
I believe the city owns them.
I have yet to be. The point being is that these cats are being released, but this year Chicago has done something very different. Tried a new route, and that is bioremediation. Specifically, bioaccumulation of heavy metals. So these cats that are being put out now have been sort of given a regiment of drugs and are specifically chosen for various sort of muscle to bone ratios such that they will accumulate heavy metals into their bodies more so and more thoroughly than other cats that have been released to this point.
These cats are sponges for heavy metals?
Yes. I mean, it's really quite simple. It's bioaccumulation. There's heavy metal from industry in the soil that goes into the plants. The rats eat the plants, and then the cats eat the rats. And then at each step of the process, the heavy metals are pulled out of the dirt and into a vessel for disposal, aka the cat.
The cat as a vessel for disposal?
Recycling.
How does one recycle a cat, Rowan?
Well, I mean, the fact of the matter is these cats, they go out, they do their business, they eat the rats, they accumulate the heavy metals. At the end of the season, the cats are brought back. They are found and brought back to facilities, euthanized, and then treatment is undergone, and then the slag, and this is the amazing part, the slag that comes from these ashes from these cats, they can reuse the heavy metal.
Rowan, this is something that you support.
Absolutely,
It doesn't seem
it's
very vegan.
It's incredibly sustainable, and that's fair. But when you look at it as if the Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia, was an organism unto itself, us all being cells, perhaps glands and lesions and what have you on this organism, by doing this environmental good thing, this environmental virtue, i.e. pulling heavy metals out of the ground, then the wider organism is getting healthier, and that's the most vegan thing I can think of.
This is an incredibly loose definition of veganism, right?
Well, it's the environment is that's a discussion we could talk about that forever. The point is that this is a new thing that is going forward.
There's no way to stop it.
It's the paperwork's been signed. It's
the cats are already heading into the machine.
That's something worth bringing up. I'm glad you brought that up, because very quickly, citizens are in fact not encouraged to interact with these animals. You normally wouldn't be encouraged to interact with those sort of animals anyway.
No.
But they can be recognized by the notch in their ear. If you see a cat outside with a notch in their ear, an exclamation mark bleached into some part of their coat.
An exclamation mark?
Yes. And usually later on in the bioaccumulation process, after heavy metals have filled up and become more prominent, you could see an oily sheen, bleeding gums. The point is, stay away from those cats. They have a certain amount of lead, cadmium, etc. That's not healthy. As cute as they may be, look for the exclamation mark in the fur.
Well, Rowan, that sounds absolutely horrifying. But I believe we've reached the segment that we call the mid-show midterm of our show, the middle of our show. And I believe you have a question for us that we can ponder as we listen to music and wait until the special feature taking place in the second half of the show.
Yes, that's correct. And so tonight we have a very straightforward question, which is, which of the following subconscious cues has been associated with dishonesty?
So these are cues that we don't realize that we're doing, but we may do them, and if we do, it's a sign that we are dishonest.
Or when you see it in other people, it's a way to...
It's a correlation.
It's a way to sort of do an ocular pat down of a sense of people around you in terms of honesty. So which of these...
Okay.
So, number one, chewing on objects. So sort of a toothpick, perhaps.
Like an oral fixation of some
sort. A straw, a thumb, a fingernail.
A cigar, maybe.
Perhaps. So, number two, wearing sunglasses or just sort of otherwise obscuring your eyes.
Okay.
Number three, having a black leather jacket. That could be described as slick, could be described as show-offish, could be described as tacky even.
Sure.
And then, number four, leaning on the hood of your, or in perhaps the other person's case, their 89 Dodge Viper.
That specific car, that specific year of vehicle.
I mean, is that your guess? Do you think that's a subconscious cue?
I don't know what a Dodge Viper looks like, Rod.
Well, we will have time to rectify that because we are taking a very short break, only about 8 minutes. So we will return at that point. And when we do, we will come back with our special feature, Bloodletter, the future of medical crowdfunding.
Stay tuned.
With dishonesty. Which of the following subconscious cues have been associated with dishonesty? One, chewing on objects.
Mm-hmm. Like a toothpick.
2, wearing sunglasses, or otherwise obscuring your eyes. Number 3, having a black leather jacket, very slick by some people's measures, tacky by, a normal person measure.
It's completely subjective.
And number 4, leaning on the hood of your or their 89 Dodge Viper. Which of these is a subconscious cue of dishonesty?
I'm just gonna be completely honest, Rowan. I have no strong feelings towards any of these. These seem like I did not think of these as really any. I did not even consider these to be. When I see these in the world, I don't think of them to be cues of dishonesty. But chewing on objects, a lot of people seem to do that. Wearing sunglasses, I feel like not everybody wearing sunglasses can be dishonest. Leather jacket, leaning on the hood of your Dodge Viper. I'm just gonna have to say I'm looking at a picture of one of these Dodge Vipers right now, and I get the sense that anybody that owns one of these, I wouldn't take advice from them certainly. So I'm gonna have to go with number 4. If you're leaning on the hood of your 89 Dodge Viper, I believe that seems to me to be the sign of the cue of dishonesty.
Well, you're technically correct because it's a bit of a trick question. The answer is all of these. All of these are subconscious cues of dishonesty.
Oh? It seems. Rowan, I'm going to say I'm not going to question your choices of question, but it seems pretty dishonest to make a trick question.
Well, that is fair. I can't.
Is there somebody that you're pointing out that you're focusing on here?
I'm just saying, don't trust greasers. They can't be trusted.
Okay. Interesting.
And that's been proven.
That's great, Rowan. That's wonderful. But it's time for us to move on to the special feature of tonight. And this is something that I believe you have a little bit more knowledge on than I do, Rowan. But what I love about it is that it's something that sort of we're talking about STEM here. We're talking about science, technology, engineering, math, and gaming. And this is something that sort of brings together two parts of that. It brings together science, specifically medical science, and also entrepreneurship, which is another thing that's missing from STEM. But it's bringing together sort of that business and science in perfect harmony to solve one of the greatest problems of our generation.
Yeah, and it's very exciting to be able to finally talk about blood letter. That's BLOODLETTR. There's no E at the end, because what this is not a blood letter of ye olden days or even modern days under certain circumstances. This is an app a platform rather, that will be the future of medical crowdfunding.
Yeah, it is also technology. I believe there is an app, but we're really talking about the platform. We're talking about this this way to connect people together for the future. As the subtitle of this is the future of medical crowdfunding.
Yes.
For this remarkable new way to really help people.
Well, the exciting thing about it is that this is not part of my work at the Simon Amey Institute of Spirit Science, but this is an offshoot of a former grad student of mine who put together this. So I've been sort of consulting and helping out with some of the sort of ethical questions that they brought up and some of the more back end spiritual aspects of this.
There are spiritual aspects to this?
Well, I mean, it's of course.
You'll have to.
What kind of dev team doesn't have a spiritualist on hand?
Most of them, I believe.
Well, so bloodletter. What is it? Why does this exist?
Sure.
The fact of the matter is that most crowdfunding already goes towards medical expenses. That's a reality of platforms that exist as they are. Your GoFundMe's, your Kickstarter to a lesser extent, your Patreons to a lesser extent, but it's there.
Yeah, people are constantly looking for support because medical procedures and just that whole system is so expensive.
It is, and oftentimes people can be brought together to really rally around someone, a beloved member of the community or a friend or a family member, and put the money together and get it going. But the question is why hasn't there been a specific platform that addresses the issues and donates what people actually need in these circumstances, these people with either emergencies or chronic illnesses?
People tend to donate money through these.
Yeah, but the thing is that the money is not what is needed. The money goes towards the services and also the physical supplies and the biological supplies that go towards helping someone, healing someone.
Yeah.
So what
Bloodletter is?
What Bloodletter is it takes money out of the picture. It keeps people honest, so that they're not running away with the money. It is the first subscription-based medical donation platform.
Amazing.
And once again,
revolutionary.
It is not money. There is no money involved.
No money changes hands.
And that's because, once again, there's no accountability on these other platforms as to when you give a donation to someone who claims that they, had to have a toe removed or had a chainsaw incident. That how do you know they're not just taking those donations and running off to the the ponies, or the sports book,
or buying a sharper chainsaw?
Exactly. So by keeping money out of it entirely, there can be more accountability and there can be more that is specialized for.
Sure.
So one thing that you can do is one-time donations of organs,
right,
for example.
And that's really all you can do. Most of us tend to have one organ. Mm-hmm. But, as with any donation, somebody may be in more need of an organ than you, and so you can donate it, and this is an easy way to do that.
Right, and the fascinating part of it is that after you go through the process of signing up for this platform, the various organs that you have and how healthy they think they are logged on the program digitally, and then you can go into your profile and click on the organ that you would be thinking of donating, and it will pull up a list of individuals who are looking for that.
It's
integrated.
It's integrated. It's convenient.
But also, I think the really exciting part of it, though, is the recurring donations, because there's so many recurring donations out there that people need for all sorts of medical issues.
Right. All sorts of fluids.
Blood. Big one. They're always looking for more blood.
Incredibly large one.
Related to that, plasma as well.
Very specialized.
Sperm, once again, that is a classic
people need it.
Bone marrow, that's a big one.
Yeah, that one
too. And
so big.
What you can do is by having these subscription-based models, a certain amount can be drawn out each month, each couple of months, each half a year, whatever you decide you want to do.
Right.
And that will be put into a storage area. Those units will be tracked into your account, and then you vicariously through this platform use those points and put it towards someone, a patient on the site.
Right. And yeah, it is great because these are recurring. You can do these every single week. You can do these every single month. You can do one every time. There's lots of different ways to do this. Right.
So the exciting thing about this, and I think that really puts this together, is the ability.
You can already do donations. How is this different?
Well, you get to connect with the patients,
exactly.
And that's the one. Even as someone who considers themselves not quite a doctor but a healer, a light worker,
I don't think anybody considers you a doctor.
Connecting with the patients is oftentimes the hardest part of medicine and healing. And so what you can do is, with Bloodletter, you choose what you donate to whom.
Mm-hmm.
You choose. You pick.
It doesn't go to a huge bucket that people stick their hands in and then hand them out at the hospital.
No, you are capable of flipping through all sorts of individuals who will be looking through for your fluids of the kind that you are donating, of looking for the organs you're willing to donate.
Your kidney is hand packed in a Bloodletter package, a Bloodletter cooling box, and it's sent directly to the hospital. The patient can open it up, see it, and that's that immediate connection.
Right, and with specifically the subscription-based donations, they can set their own donation tiers. And so what that means is that when you reach a certain threshold in their medical sort of needs, you can get things like video shout-outs. You can all the way up to getting flown out to visit and see a surgery for this individual because you have put so much towards their campaign, their medical crowdfunding campaign.
You're talking about video shout-outs. We're talking about hand-etched tote bags. We're talking about
T-shirts.
We're talking about crafts. We're talking about them reading your voicemail.
It's once again, there is no
enamel pins.
There's no better way to truly feel at one with the person you're helping than through the intimacy of a trying medical time and stepping in and getting that video shout out during that time.
And getting that T-shirt with their face on it.
So Bloodletter is entering early alpha.
It's brand new.
Absolutely. And so what I would like to turn over to the listener, to the citizen scientist
out there. And this is not a call to action.
This is not a call to action. This is merely a notice that Bloodletter is in need of patients. We're looking for individuals, any number of things, cancer, autoimmune disorders, long COVID, bubble boy, girl person, that bubble disease, depression, just anything at all.
Anything at all that you need donations for.
And we expect, once we have a back end of patients, to be able to enter into late alpha to early beta.
Right.
And, I say we. I've only just been...
It sounds like you're on the board, Rowan.
I wish. I'm just very excited about it.
I'm excited about this, too. I hope to see a day where we no longer... Anybody with a medical concern, we no longer see them. They have no more use for things like Patreon or GoFundMe or send something to their Venmo or something. They'll just hop on Bloodletter and get exactly what they need and when.
It's exciting. And if you are interested in being a part of our early alpha Bloodletter program, please email EurekaCast NOW @gmail.com.
Really, Rowan?
EurekaCast@gmail.com.
I'm not looking forward to getting those emails, Rowan.
But yes, so that is the news on Bloodletter. Very exciting, very fascinating.
It's great. It's great what people are doing these days with blood, and the web. Two things that I believe in highly.
So we have a citizen science, as a matter of fact.
Excellent. So Citizen Scientist, as you know, is the part of the show. We rediscuss the research, findings, and data collected by amateur scientists. That's you, listener. That is you out there in the world, on the street, and posted to social media. And
if, in fact, this comes from you specifically, we would love to talk to you more.
Then you can send us an email. EurekaCastNow@gmail.com.
EurekaCastNow
at gmail.com.
At gmail.com. So here's the citizen scientist. Here's the citizen science from a citizen scientist. A quick high vibrational hack that will transform your life. Fill a tall glass with water. Meditate love, gratitude, and abundance and optimal health into it. Drink it. Your cells will absorb these frequencies and match its vibrations instantly. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Now, Rowan, where are the okay, well, let's just pretend that this is something that actually exists. Where is this love coming from? It sounds like you're just taking the love out of that exists in your own body, putting it into water and reabsorbing it. This sounds like sort of a perpetual energy machine.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but let me pose this
this hypothetical.
Let me pose a hypothetical to you.
I love hypotheticals.
I have 2 glasses of water.
Okay. Tell me about them.
One, I meditate abundance and good health and gratitude and love into, and then the other I meditate into bad health and misery and poverty and being an ingrate. Which of those 2 glasses are you going to drink from?
What's the temperature of the water?
Do you have a quote for us, Kai?
I do have a quote. And this is a quote by Angus Gardner, who is a mentor of mine. Back in the elementary school days, he said this out on the track. Not sure what his job was, but it's always stuck in my mind exactly what this quote was. I was running around the track at gym, and he was always there. He might have been a coach. I can't really remember. But he always said this. Success is a battlefield, but science is the battle cry. And that's always stuck with me. EurekaCast Now is meticulously researched, produced, and presented with the support of Tech Brothers New Media Labs in Chicago, Illinois. We are broadcast every Saturday evening, 8 to 9 p.m. CST on WLPN LP 105.5 FM, Lumpen Radio, and simulcast live on twitch.tv/Lumpen Radio at the same time. If you'd like to get in contact with us, please follow us at EurekaCast on Twitter and Instagram, and visit our website at eurekacast.org. But Rowan, I think we have some other ways to get in contact with us.
That is correct. If you engage in other forms of social media, please feel free to find us at facebook.com/EurekaCast or send an electronic mail to EurekaCastNow@gmail.com, where you can share with us any technological, scientific, or spiritual breakthroughs you've witnessed or participated in. Additionally, if you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the program, feel free to reach out at that email, which is once again EurekaCastNow@gmail. Or if you are interested in being part of the Blood Letter Open Early Alpha. Kai,
Rowan, stop it. I look away for 2 seconds.
Do you have anyone who is sick that you would like to volunteer, Kai?
I don't know. I don't know, Rowan. Can we talk about this like off the air or something?
Are you ashamed?
Rowan, can you please just end the show?
With that, Chicago, allow us here at EurekaCast Now to finish balancing your humors and tempers as this radio checkup concludes.
Yeah, and this one, listener, insurance covers.